What's up, folks? Sean, the Average Angler, coming at you with another great video. You know, all this packing, getting ready for Clear Lake sure is giving me a lot of ideas and stuff I want to share with you guys so that hopefully you can have a better spring, catch more fish. Some of this stuff you may be familiar with, some of it you may not. But today's edition, it's actually the second edition. I did the line video this morning. Today's edition is going to be something you can do with, I'm sure, stuff you already have, maybe just didn't think about, because it's a little bit out of the traditional way to fish this bait in our area in Northern California. I haven't seen a ton of people do it, but stay with us. We're going to get right to it. All right, guys, so thanks for clicking on the video. Really appreciate it. If you're one of those that comes around and watches the video and isn't a subscriber, maybe hit that subscribe button today. It'd really make the average angler's day, help grow the channel, become part of the community. There's great guys here. I'm not the only one giving out pointers. I mean, these guys put some baits up and different things and that kind of stuff. So it's a good place to learn. And look, we can all learn. It's never too late to learn. We continue learning as we go on. So hit that subscribe button. If you have questions, anything like that, drop a comment down below. I get back to everybody. And hit that like button, because I know you're going to catch some fish on this one. All right, now what do we need for this? This is pretty simple. Let's get back to that 734 medium heavy casting rod. Somewhere around, depending on your body of water size of fish, you decide. But I'm going to say 12 to 15, 16 pound, depending on the line you use. I like fluorocarbon for this, okay? This is going to be a bottom bait. Now, this is a great way to cover banks where you can't see the fish. So just out of our depth range, right, what we can see. It's a slow technique, so it is a technique you want to do where you know there is a hard bottom. Now, look, hard can be a whole lot of things, right? We just don't want mud and muck. If it's sand, gravel, rock, pea gravel, any of those kinds of things, hey, that's exactly what we're looking for. One of the places you can find that a lot, I'm going to give you a hint here in a second, your banks that have the predominant wind blowing into it. Those days the waves get big and crashing in, when the water's down lower and the water comes up. Those banks are typically washed by the lake, right? By the wave activity coming in. Those waves are lapping against the shoreline. It washes the bank and leaves the rock, gravel, that stuff behind. Fish love that stuff. So if you've had low water years where that stuff is now 6, 7, 8, maybe even 10 feet deep, this is a great one to try in those places. And it's very good when they're not willing to chase a reaction bait. Look, in the spring, this time of year, we want to throw a reaction, but sometimes we get those dead calm, bright days. Those aren't necessarily the best time for a reaction bite. So this is a good time to pull this one out, tie it on, and give it a try. Now, what I'm talking about is a 5 or 6 inch Strike King Ocho. I just like the Ocho better for this technique. You can use any type of stickworm you want. These are typically a bit bulkier than some of the other brands, and I really like the color. I know Yamamoto has this color now. This is Blue Craw. This one's Big Tex. Those are a couple that I really like. It's not just that. We're not done yet. You're also going to need a little tungsten sinker. This is 1/8 ounce. Okay, you're going to need some peggets. I don't know why I didn't pull those out, because I just had them in my hand. Here you go. The 6 cents peg stoppers. They're $1.99. I really like these ones. They're kind of, if I can get it angled right here, I can show you. They're kind of bulky, okay? I like these for this. It does a couple things. One, it kind of keeps stuff off the front of that bait. That little shape meets up with your sinker, and it just creates a nice smooth transition over the top. And for these, we are going to need anywhere from a 3/0 to a 5/0 offset worm hook, not EWG. I don't like the EWG with this stuff. You can use one if that's your thing, just not my thing. And definitely a 5/0 with that 6 inch. That 6 inch, pretty bulky bait. Unlike a Senko, it gets a little bit bigger as it goes back. it also has like those cut edges. I don't know if there's 6 or 8 cut edges on this thing. And it smells like coffee. Pregnant bass love coffee. For this technique, basically what I want to do is cast it up beyond where you think the fish are holding. Generally those fish, especially on a slicked off day where the sun's shining, we got no wind, they can be a little spooky. Even if you throw it all the way onto the bank and then drag it in, that's fine. I've been known to do that. We've talked about that in another video, that can be a great way to approach it, because when those fish get up there shallow, say the water's not real clear, they'll get up there real shallow and look at that bank and they're just waiting for something to come in. Well, if you don't splash, you just come in off the bank, a lot of times, man, they jump all over it. We're gonna sit out a little ways. We don't want to spook the fish, like we said, and you're just gonna slow drag that thing. And the beauty of this rig, and why all the pieces need to be there together, one, we don't want a heavy weight to drag it down into grass. However, we need that little weight to keep it down so we can go through the grass. The nice thing about the cigar, stick bait, whatever you want to call it, is it will pull through there with a little tiny weight. You get too big a weight and it starts grabbing onto stuff. Like I said, not a fast technique, but a very productive technique. So cast it up there, work it back out slow. When you feel it come through, like if you feel it release from some grass, you may be sitting on a hard spot. You may just let it sit. You might just shake it just a little bit. Just shake the slack in your line just to make that worm move a little bit. Man, they'll pick it up, swim off with it. Great way to catch some fish that didn't want to eat anything else. These are areas that you a lot of times would use a drop shot, but that drop shot hangs up in the grass. And if you start pulling the grass and those fish are spooky, a lot of times it's going to turn them off to the whole presentation. I really like to try this technique that time of year. This is great in the pre-spawn, into the spawn, even the post-spawn. Give this technique a try. It's a great technique, different way to present a stick bait. I will say, if you try this without the bait or without the weight, the bait will want to come up at times and go over stuff. We really want to keep it down on bottom. If it slithers through the grass and comes through, it just looks much more natural, like a creature that's on the bottom. Whatever they may think a worm is, man, they just think it's a worm and it's slithering through there. I'm Sean, the Average Angler. Thanks for watching. Hope you subscribe. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Really appreciate you.